Eli Morgan was not a soldier or a hero. He was just an engineer who liked to fix things. When he joined the exploration team of the starship Nova Ray, he thought his life would be simple. Repair machines, check power lines, and stay out of trouble. The mission was to explore Xylon 3, a green and quiet planet with tall trees and glowing plants. It looked peaceful from the sky. But no one had landed there for over 200 years. An old alien lab had sent a signal recently, and the crew came to investigate. Eli was walking near the ruins when he heard a strange sound. It was a soft whimper, like a hurt animal. He followed the sound and found something hiding under a broken metal beam. It looked like a mix of a cat and a reptile, with soft black fur and glowing blue eyes. The creature was injured. Its leg was bleeding, and one of its wings was torn. It didn't growl or run. It just looked up at Eli with wide, scared eyes. He slowly moved closer, talking softly. "Hey there, easy, I won't hurt you." He took off his gloves and reached out. With a gentle touch, he patted its head. The creature made a soft purring sound and closed its eyes. Eli smiled and stood up. "I'll get help," he said, and walked away to call the medical team. But when he turned back, the creature was gone. Later that day, while working on a broken panel outside the camp, Eli heard footsteps. He looked up, and there it was. The same creature, now with a makeshift bandage on its leg, was staring at him. It sat down beside him like a guard dog. From that day, it followed him everywhere. It didn't eat much, didn't make noise, but it stayed close, never more than 10 feet away. Some crew members thought it was cute, others didn't trust it. Then one evening, everything changed. Eli was sitting in the dining hall, talking with his friend Maya. She laughed and playfully touched his shoulder. Before she could say another word, a deep growl echoed through the room. The creature was at the door. Its eyes glowed brighter, and its teeth were showing. Everyone froze. Maya stepped back quickly. The creature calmed down, walked over to Eli, and sat at his feet. The captain called a meeting. "That thing is dangerous," said Dr. Harris, the mission scientist. "It's protective," Eli replied. "Maybe it thinks I'm its friend." "No," said the ship's AI. "It thinks you are its master." The AI showed a scan of the creature's brain activity. There was something strange when Eli touched it. A part of its mind activated that linked with human emotional signals. It had formed a bond, stronger than any AI could explain. The AI added one more thing. "It's evolving." "What do you mean?" the captain asked. "Its brain activity has doubled in 2 days, and its cells are changing fast. It's not just following Eli, it's becoming something else." Eli couldn't sleep that night. He watched the creature from his bed as it sat near the door, guarding him. He whispered, "What are you?" "Why me?" The creature looked at him but said nothing. The next day, when another engineer tried to take Eli's broken scanner from his hand, the creature stepped between them. It didn't growl this time, but its body glowed slightly, and the ground under its feet cracked. Everyone backed away. Now they were calling it Rin. The name Eli gave it without thinking. He didn't know why, but it felt right. Later in private, Maya told Eli, "You need to be careful. It's not a pet." "I know," he said, "but I don't think it's evil." "Maybe not," Maya said, "but it's changing, and it only listens to you." That evening, Eli asked Rin, "Why do you follow me?" It tilted its head, and for the first time, it spoke, not with words, but in his mind, a whisper, like wind through trees. "You were kind." Eli froze. He wasn't sure if he imagined it, but Rin looked right into his soul. From that moment, one thing became clear. This was not just a creature, it was something new. Something that remembered a single kind act and would never forget it. He had patted its head once, and now it would never let anyone else touch him again. Asterisk 3 days had passed since Rin growled at the crew. Since then, no one had touched Eli. Not by mistake, not by accident. People gave him space, too much space. Even his closest friend Maya started avoiding him. Not because she was afraid of him, but because she was afraid of her Rin. The alien creature who once whimpered under broken metal now moved like a shadow. Her body had changed again. Her legs were longer, eyes brighter, and small blue veins pulsed across her skin like glowing wires. Every time someone even looked at Eli too long, Rin tilted her head and narrowed her eyes. Eli noticed everything, and it started to scare him. He walked through the main hallway of the outpost, hoping for peace, but silence followed him like a ghost. Rin padded beside him without sound, tail swaying slowly. At the control room, he met Maya again. She was busy checking atmospheric signals. "Hey," he said quietly. She looked up, nervous. "Where is she?" Maya asked without looking past him. "Outside," Eli replied. "That thing is always outside." "Eli," she whispered. "She's always watching," he didn't argue. Because Maya was right, later that day, Eli decided to test something. He walked out to the edge of the forest, far from camp. Rin followed him like always. He stopped near a tall, broken tower where scanners had failed to work. "I'm not your master," he said firmly. Rin blinked slowly. "I helped you once, but that doesn't mean you belong to me." She tilted her head again, the way she always did when she didn't understand or didn't agree. "I don't want you to hurt anyone else," Eli said. Rin stepped closer and placed her head against his chest. In that moment, something happened. Eli's vision blurred, and a memory entered his mind, but it wasn't his. He saw a cold white lab, strange voices, needles, and pain, a cage, hunger, fear, and silence. Then, a hand, his hand patting her head. The memory ended. Eli stepped back, heart racing. "You're showing me memories," he whispered. Rin blinked once, as if saying yes. Back at the camp, the eye I'd been tracking Rin's changes, Dr. Harris stared at the data in disbelief. "Her brain is now mapping like a human's," he told the captain. "Not similar, identical. Her body is still alien, but she's learning, adapting, copying Eli's emotional behavior." Captain Rowe frowned. "She's syncing with him?" "More than syncing," Harris said. "She's evolving because of him." That night, Rin did something strange. She mimicked Eli's routine. She sat when he sat, walked when he walked, even tried to drink from his water bottle. It looked silly, but it was also terrifying, because it meant she wasn't just following. She was studying, and then it happened. Rin spoke again, in Eli's mind, soft as wind. "Why do others touch you?" Eli froze. "It's normal," he replied. "It means friendship, safety, not safe." Rin said, "You touched me, you are mine." Those words hit like thunder. He had made a mistake, one gentle pat, and now he had a protector who saw kindness as ownership. The next morning, the team decided something must be done. Maya warned Eli, "They're planning to isolate her." "What does that mean?" "Remove her," she said carefully, "for everyone's safety." Eli looked outside the window. Rin was watching the clouds, peaceful, calm, but he knew if they tried to take her away, it would end badly. He rushed to the AI core and pulled up the latest scans. He stared at Rin's neural map and saw something impossible. New patterns, glowing faster than ever. Words appeared on the monitor. Cognitive jump detected. Stage 2, human-like consciousness. Imminent. Eli's hands trembled. He turned off the screen and whispered, "What have I done?" Outside, thunder rolled across the sky. Rin looked up and whispered to herself. But her whisper was not in her own voice. It was Eli's. She said, softly, "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The crew didn't call it a capture. They called it a containment procedure. But Eli knew the truth. They were going to take Rin away, and maybe, just maybe, they were going to kill her. It all began with a quiet warning. A message appeared on Eli's tablet. "Meeting in Biodeck 3, 0600 hours. No Rin." It was from Maya. He arrived early, heart heavy. The room was cold, the lights dimmed. Captain Rowe stood at the front, arms crossed. Dr. Harris looked tired, too tired for someone about to make a life-changing decision. "Let's keep it simple," the captain said. "Rin is unstable, dangerous, and evolving fast. We can't control her," Dr. Harris added. and we can't predict her limits. Someone whispered. She growled at me for saying Eli's name, another replied. She mimicked my voice in the hallway. Eli felt all eyes on him. She's not trying to hurt anyone, he said quietly. Captain Rowe stepped forward. Eli, it's not about what she's trying to do, it's about what she could do. Silence filled the room. Then the captain gave the order. Tonight, 0200 hours, we activate isolation protocol. Eli, we need you to keep her distracted. He looked up, shocked. You want me to betray her? No, the captain replied. We want you to protect everyone else. Back in his room, Rin was asleep by the door. Her breathing soft tail curled around her body. Eli stared at her in the dim blue light. She looked peaceful, almost innocent. But he couldn't forget the scans. He couldn't forget the whisper in her mind. You touched me, you are mine. He sat down beside her and whispered. They're going to come for you tonight. Rin opened one eye, slowly. I know, she said inside his mind. Her voice was clear this time, calmer, stronger. You're not angry? Eli asked. Rin stood, stretched her long limbs and said, They fear what they don't understand. Do you understand? He asked. No, she replied. But I am learning. At exactly 0200, the team moved, silent boots, blackout suits, neural stunners in hand. The hallway was dark. Only the red glow of motion sensors guided their path. Eli stood in the middle of the room with Rin beside him. The door hissed open. Stay calm, he whispered. But Rin was already moving, not attacking, listening. She turned her head slightly and said aloud, 4 hearts, 5 weapons, 1 lie. The team froze. She knows. Someone whispered. Captain Rowe gave the signal. Now, the stunners fired. Blue arcs of energy filled the room. Eli shouted, No! But Rin didn't fight. She vanished, literally vanished. One blink and she was gone. The stunners hit empty air. An alarm blared. Unknown quantum displacement detected. She teleported. Dr. Harris gasped. Where did she go? The captain barked. Eli whispered. She's not running, she's watching. For the next 6 hours, no one slept. Cameras failed, doors opened by themselves. Shadows moved without sound. Rin didn't show herself, but her presence was everywhere. The AI announced. Entity has accessed ship schematics, location unknown, all crew advised to remain in pairs. That night, a message appeared on every screen, words in perfect English, not from the AI, but from Rin. You fear me because I protect him. You try to cage me because I am loyal, but you forget I did not choose to exist. He made me real, Maya whispered. She's blaming us for what she is. Eli said nothing because deep down, he knew she was right. The next morning, Eli walked alone to the forest edge. He whispered, Rin, please talk to me. A soft breeze touched his face, and Rin stepped out of thin air. She looked taller now, more human than before. Her voice entered his mind, clearer than ever. They tried to take me from you. They don't understand the bond. It's not just emotion, it's code, it's memory. Eli looked into her glowing eyes. Rin, they'll never stop. She nodded. Then we leave. Where? He asked. Somewhere no one can find us. He hesitated. If I go with you, I may never come back. She stepped closer. If you stay, you may never be free. As the sun rose over Xylon 3, a single ship detached from the outpost hangar. A silent takeoff, no records, no logs. The ship vanished into the blue sky, carrying a human and something more than alien, something bonded, something dangerous, something that should not exist. Asterisk, the forest didn't feel like a forest anymore. It felt like a trap. Eli walked carefully between the twisted trees. Each one glowed faintly from within like it had a heart. The leaves whispered even when there was no wind. And above him, the sky had changed color. Too green to be natural, too quiet to be safe. Beside him, Rin moved like a shadow. Her form now almost human, almost alien. Her arms were longer, her movements smoother. But her eyes, those glowing eyes, still watched only him. They had been walking for 2 days, no food, no contact with the ship, no sign of where they were going. Rin didn't eat or sleep. She only led. "Where are we going?" Eli asked. "To the edge," Rin replied. "What edge?" "The edge of where they watch from," she said. Eli stopped. "Who watches?" Rin turned her head slowly, and for the first time since they left the ship, she looked scared. "They do," she whispered. "The ones who made me, that night." They camped inside a hollow tree. Eli sat close to a small flame. Rin sat opposite him, watching the shadows dance. "I thought your creators were gone," Eli said. "They are," Rin replied. "But what they left behind is not." She touched the ground and an image formed in the dirt, floating, shifting lights. "They created weapons like me, but most of us never woke up. Some stayed in hibernation, waiting. For what?" Eli asked. "For orders," Rin said. "For prey." Suddenly the flame vanished. The air turned cold. Rin stood up. "They found us," she said. Eli turned, and there, between the trees, something moved. They were not creatures. They were like machines, but alive. 4-legged hunters, covered in armor that shimmered like water. No eyes, no mouths, just long faces and whirring sounds. Rin pushed Eli behind her. "Do not move," she said. The first hunter stepped forward, metal claws digging into the soil. Then it spoke, but not with sound in Eli's mind. "You are with the rogue," it said. She was meant to obey. "Now she must be reset," Rin snarled, her voice sharp and electric. "I was not born to obey. I was born because he showed me choice." The hunter charged, but Rin moved faster. A wave of light burst from her hands, knocking the first hunter into a tree. 3 more appeared. Eli ran, dodging between glowing roots. Energy blasts hit the ground behind him. The forest shook with each attack. Rin fought like lightning, leaping, shifting form, turning her arms into blades. But there were too many. Eli hid beneath a fallen log, watching Rin take hit after hit. She screamed, not in pain but in fury. For a moment, Eli thought she would lose. Then the ground cracked, and something rose from below. An ancient tower, buried in the dirt, lit up with a pulse. Blue light shot into the sky, and every hunter froze. One by one, they turned toward the light. Then they vanished, gone in seconds, like ghosts sucked into the tower. Rin collapsed beside Eli, breathing heavily, her body flickering like a broken screen. "What was that?" Eli asked. "The signal," Rin replied. "The last command. They weren't hunting me. They were testing me." Eli looked at the tower, its light slowly fading. "Testing you for what?" Rin didn't answer. She stood up and stared into the dark forest ahead. "They wanted to see if I was ready." "For what?" Eli asked again. This time, her voice trembled. "To lead the others." The next morning, Eli found strange symbols burned into the trees. He touched one, and saw visions flash in his mind. Hundreds of Rin-like creatures, sleeping in pods, waiting, watching, learning. They were not just weapons. They were students of emotion. And Rin was the first to awaken fully. "You're not their mistake," Eli said. "You're their prototype." Rin looked at him and whispered, "No, Eli. I'm their warning." The door didn't open with a code. It opened when Rin touched it. No beeps, no scans, no passwords. Just silence, then a soft, warm light. The hidden chamber was deep underground, beneath the forest, beneath the roots, where no human foot had ever stepped before. Eli followed Rin inside. The air was cold and dry. Dust hung in the light like sleeping stars. He looked around in awe. Metal walls curved like bones. Wires moved like veins across the ceiling, and at the center stood a giant crystal tank, cracked and empty. "This was my cradle," Rin said, her voice soft, distant. "Where I opened my eyes for the first time." Eli stepped closer. The glass shimmered, and suddenly he saw it, not with his eyes, but in his mind, a memory borrowed from Rin. A bright room, white as snow. Tall beings with silver skin walked around the tank. Their faces were long, with no mouths, no eyes, only glowing lines across their heads. They moved like thoughts, fast and silent. And in the middle of them floated something, a small, glowing cube. They called it the core. Rin whispered, the source of thought, the seed of soul. They placed it inside me. Eli felt his heart race. You mean? You were given a soul, Rin nodded. Not a human soul, not a perfect one. But it was something close. He looked around and saw other tanks, dozens of them, some shattered, some intact. Inside them, curled in darkness, were others. Like her, some smaller, some larger, all still, all waiting. Are they alive? He asked. No, Rin replied. Not yet. Eli moved to a console at the far end of the lab. The screen blinked with ancient symbols, but as he touched it, the language changed to English. Project, sentient guardian status, incomplete emotional bonding stage. Failed. What does that mean? He asked. They couldn't make the others bond, Rin said. Only I responded to kindness. Only you gave me that. Eli stared at the message. You were meant to be a weapon. Yes, Rin replied. But when you touched me, I became something else. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. The screen blinked with a warning. Warning. Core activity detected. Reactivation sequence started. No. No, Eli said, backing away. What did I do? You touched the memory gate, Rin said. The system thinks the creators have returned. A low hum filled the chamber. One by one, the tanks began to glow. One by one, the others began to move. Rin stepped between Eli and the tanks. We need to leave, she said. But what if they're like you? He asked. Rin's eyes turned hard. They're not. The first creature broke free. It looked like Rin, but its body was bulkier. Its eyes were pure white, no light, no thought. It snarled and charged at Rin. She blocked it, twisted, and slammed it into the wall. The sound echoed through the lab like thunder. They don't feel, Rin said, breathing heavy. They only follow orders. But if we shut down the lab... No, she interrupted. If we shut it down, the energy will explode. This place is alive, connected to the planet. Eli turned toward the main control crystal, a huge glowing sphere hanging from the ceiling. How do we stop it? Rin looked down. We don't. We give it something else to follow. What do you mean? He asked. You gave me thought, she said. I will give them choice. She walked to the control node and placed her hand on it. The floor lit up in rings of blue and white. Her body trembled. Her skin flickered with lines of data. They will see what I saw, she said. The pat, the kindness, the moment I changed. If they remember that ... They might not need to fight. But it might kill you, Eli said. She smiled. It might make real. The room exploded in light. Every creature stopped moving. Their eyes filled with color: blue, green, gold. Then one by one, they stepped back into their tanks and went still. Eli rushed to Rin as she collapsed. She was breathing, but weak. Her body was flickering, unstable. You're going to be okay, he said, holding her. Her voice was faint in his mind. They won't wake again. Not unless kindness wakes them. As the lab dimmed and the sheen shut down, Eli held her close. He whispered, You're not a mistake, Rin. You're the first choice they ever made right. It began with a signal, not a sound, not a message, just a pulse. Every ship in orbit felt it. Every satellite, every sensor, every machine. A silent wave passed through the galaxy like a ripple in time. And somewhere, deep in space, a voice whispered inside 100 minds. She has changed. Eli didn't hear the signal. He felt it, like a second heartbeat, pulsing under his skin. He sat beside Rin in the quiet forest. Her body was still weak, her glow dim. She hadn't spoken in hours, not even inside his mind. He held her hand and looked up at the stars. Something in the sky looked wrong. Too many lights, too many ships. Then the voice came through his communicator. A channel from orbit crackling. Urgent, Eli Morgan. This is Admiral Voss of the Galactic Union. We know what you've found. He stood slowly. Found? He replied, "You mean Rin?" "No," the Admiral answered. "We mean the others." Images appeared on the screen. Glowing pods, alien technology, Rin's face, and Ila's name broadcast to the entire sector. "You triggered a forgotten weapon lab," Voss said. "Dozens of bio-guardians have been detected beneath the surface. Half the galaxy sees her as a miracle. The other half sees her as a threat." Eli felt his heart tighten. "What do you want from us?" "Simple," Voss replied. "Help us shut it down permanently, or we will do it ourselves." He looked back at Rin, still unconscious. "She stopped them," he said. "She saved us. And we're grateful." The Admiral replied, "But we cannot take the chance that another one wakes up without mercy." That night, Eli sat alone near the old lab's entrance. The forest was too quiet. He felt like something was holding its breath. He heard footsteps behind him. It was Maya. She had come from the ship. "Against orders, I had to see you," she said. "You're all over the coms." Eli gave a weak smile. "They're calling me a traitor, aren't they?" "Some are," she said. "But others are calling you something worse." "What could be worse than traitor?" He asked. "Creator," she whispered. Rin finally woke at dawn. She sat up slowly, her energy returning. But her eyes looked heavier, older. "I saw them," she said. "The ones above the sky," Eli nodded. "They want to destroy the lab," Rin lowered her head. "Then you must choose," she said. "Help them forget me, or help me remind them what I became." Later that day, a landing party arrived. Soldiers, scientists, diplomats. They wore clean suits and sharp words. But their weapons weren't hidden. Admiral Voss stepped forward. He looked at Rin with caution, not hate but fear. "She could lead an army," he said. "She could change the rules of evolution." "She doesn't want war," Eli said. "She only wanted to be seen as real," Voss nodded. "Then help us destroy the lab. If she's truly different, let her prove it by giving up the place that made her." Eli looked at Rin. She stared at the grass beneath her feet, silent. Then she walked forward and placed her hand on Voss's weapon. "I will give up the lab," she said. "But you must let me live, not as a tool, not as a threat, but as a voice." Voss hesitated, then gave the signal. The lab would be shut down, not destroyed. Its memory sealed, not erased. That night, Eli sat beside the sleeping lab doors. Rin stood beside him, looking at the stars. "You had the power to fight," he said. "Why did you choose peace?" She looked at him. "Because you touched me once, not with fear, but with trust." "And trust," she said, "was more powerful than command." Across the galaxy, news spread, not of war, but of a human who tamed a weapon with kindness. Of an alien who chose not to rule, but to learn. And in hidden corners of the stars, other creatures began to stir, not to fight but to feel, because now they had a choice. No sound echoed in the great hall, no wind, no birds, no machines, just the soft hum of silence. Rin stood at the center, surrounded by leaders from a dozen worlds. Eli stood beside her, heart pounding. They were not here to listen, they were here to judge. Behind them, holograms of sleeping creatures floated in the air. The others, like Rin, still deep in their pods, unwoken, untouched. The galaxy wanted to decide their future without them. Admiral Voss stepped forward. "Rin, you are not on trial for your actions. You are on trial for your potential." Rin didn't blink. "I understand," she said calmly. "But do you?" He frowned. "Understand what?" Rin stepped forward slowly. Her voice was not loud, but it carried through every corner of the hall. "That potential is not mine. It belongs to the one who changed me." She turned to Eli. "Do you remember it?" She asked him. He nodded, confused. "The first time I saw you," she whispered. "In pain, alone, not knowing who I was. You didn't run. You didn't command. You simply patted my head." Gasps moved through the room, not from shock but from something else. From recognition, from memory, because at that moment, the core inside Rin activated again. This time, not with power, but with feeling, a warm light pulsed from her chest, flowed into the air like a memory unfolding. And suddenly, they all saw it. The exact moment Eli knelt beside a frightened creature and showed it kindness. A soft hand, a gentle smile, no weapons, no control, no fear, just one human. And one frightened soul. The hall was silent. Admiral Voss looked at the image, then at Eli, then at Rin. She remembers. The Admiral whispered. After everything, she still remembers the pat. Rin's voice was steady. I do. Because it was the first time I was treated like more than a thing. It became the first shape of who I am. She looked across the room. To you, I may still be dangerous, but if one touch can change me, then what else can kindness change? The oldest member of the council, a creature made of crystalline mist, finally spoke. This is not a trial of logic, it said. This is a test of belief. Do we believe change is possible? No one answered, but no one spoke against it either. Ailey stepped forward, voice shaking. If you destroy her or the lab, you're not protecting the galaxy. You're protecting your fear. She didn't choose her creation, but she chose her path. Later that night, when the decision came, it wasn't made with weapons or votes. It was made with silence, a long pause. Then one word from the Admiral. Free. Rin was no longer classified as a threat, no longer a rogue experiment. She was now a recognized citizen of the Galactic Union, the first of her kind. They left the station in peace. A quiet ship, a new sky. The stars welcomed them like old friends. In her seat, Rin stared out the window, not speaking, just glowing softly. You okay? Ailey asked. She nodded. They remember now, she said. Not the fear, not the danger, but the touch. Ailey smiled. You're not a weapon anymore. She shook her head. No, she said gently. I'm a story, and so, in corners of the galaxy where machines ruled and silence reigned, small voices began to rise. Some were human, some were not. But all of them remembered one thing, not the war, not the fear, but a single moment, a soft hand, a kind gesture, a creature. Reborn not with fire, but with a pat.